Hello, friends from across the nation and around the world. I'm Martin, and you are listening to Dad's Anytime Stories. And today, we're going to be headed back into the Wizardcraft series because we need to finish recording the Wizardcraft series. Today, we're moving on to Chapter 9. Chapter 9 has a suggestion from Josiah, who wanted a grass dragon with diamond-plated armor from the Wizard King originally, so that's how that part got in the story. If you like the podcast, there's lots of things you can do to support it. Rating it and reviewing it goes a really far way. Joining us on Patreon makes a big difference. Buying one of my books, including this one, honestly, you can read ahead if you want to. Or just listening like you are right now. Now, if you like my stories and somehow have never checked out Dad's Bedtime Stories, which is my main podcast that has over 650 stories, you should do that. I've even been working on Wizardcraft 3.0, and there's quite a few episodes already out, with more to come. Every Wednesday so far this summer. Wizardcraft Wednesdays, I call them. I just decided to call them that right now. Anyways, on to the chapter. Chapter 9. The Legendary Nature Dragon. Words hovered before Oliver. Wake up? He selected yes, and the world snapped into focus once again. A familiar voice followed. Congratulations, Martin announced. Oliver has reached level 6. Mana, health, and stamina increased. 1 skill point available. Oliver felt the quiet surge of energy. His body felt lighter, his focus felt sharper, and every breath felt smoother. He closed his eyes and called on the glowing skill menu. The symbols shimmered before him, and he focused his mind on a familiar tree. The ninja. Adept ninja. Move silently. Blend into darkness, and double your sprinting speed while conserving stamina. He didn't hesitate. The skill icon pulsed, and a rush of understanding flowed through him. How to shift his weight perfectly. How to breathe quietly, even at a run. How to land soundlessly no matter the distance. Martin's voice echoed. Skill unlocked. Adept ninja. Movement speed and stealth improved. Oliver grinned. This should come in handy. He sat up on his bed inside his small digital house that, to him, looked very, very real. Outside, the village was alive again. Rock golems lugged stone and timber, while villagers patched walls and repaired roofs. The air hummed with hammering and laughter. Even after the battle, spirits were high. He made his way to the town where his trusted advisor, Gus, waited. Good morning, Gus said. Good morning, Gus. How are you today? I'm splendid, thank you. But I've been thinking, Gus said, his tone turning serious. Thinking about what? Oliver asked. I don't believe the Wizard King will give up so easily. By now, his soldiers will have respawned and are likely regrouping at one of his towns. Now that he knows what we're capable of, he won't underestimate us again. It would be wise to conduct some, reconnaissance. Reconnaissance? Oliver repeated. You mean spying on him? Yes, and you, my friend, are the perfect person to do it. With your flight, you can reach him easily. With your new skills, he paused with a knowing smile, you can sneak in unseen. Oliver blinked. Yeah, I guess I'm built for this now. A mix of pride and nerves filled him. So, how do I find him? Pull up your map, Gus said. Oliver turned his wrist. A holographic map shimmered to life. "I believe his central town is here," Gus said, pointing at a glowing mark. "If you're going to find any information, that's the place." "All right," Oliver said. "I'll do my best." Outside, villagers rebuilt while Owen and Griffin trained new mages in the courtyard. Oliver smiled. If spying on the Wizard King would help them, that's exactly what he'd do. He drew in mana, summoned the wind spell, and the air lifted him skyward. Holding his map steady, he angled himself toward the glowing dot. The wind spell, efficient as ever, balanced his mana, not draining, not growing, just allowing for steady flight. He soared high above the clouds, over forests, rivers, and tiny digital towns, until the blip sat below him. Dropping through the cloud layer, he saw it. A vast city circling a mountainside cliff. A huge cavern yawning at its center. Banners of black and red rippled across towers. "Found you," he murmured. He descended carefully, keeping altitude. To teleport, he needed a place he could see clearly or had visited before. Scanning below, he spotted a shadowed alley cluttered with barrels and boxes. Perfect cover. He focused, whispered the command, and blinked into the alley. His new ninja reflexes steadied him as he landed. Not a sound. He crouched behind the crates and listened. Villagers' voices drifted through the streets. "Did you hear what he has in those caves?" one woman asked. "Monster eggs, they say." "Ah, dragon eggs," another whispered. "He's going to use them on that village that refused to join him." "That village must have a strong leader," the first said. "Part of me would rather live there." "Quiet," her friend hissed. "If his men hear you, you know what happens." Oliver's pulse quickened. Dragon eggs? And a restless population? That was bigger than he thought. He scanned for his next cover. A row of bushes, and silently teleported there. Each jump was quicker now. His adept ninja instincts made every move smoother, every landing lighter. He flowed from shadow to shadow, alley to alley, a mix of teleportation and pure ninja skill, until he reached the cavern's edge. Peering from behind brush, he saw heavy guards at the cave mouth, no visible path inside. Time to bend time. He drew from his mana and unleashed time magic. The world froze, dust hung in midair. Oliver sprinted, faster, quieter than ever, slipping between guards and racing deeper into the cave. The counter ticked in his vision. 45, 44, 43. Longer than before. His mastery must have been improving. He stopped behind a boulder, letting time flow normally again. Patrols clanked past. "Can't ever get them to hatch," one guard muttered. "Without the mother's fire, it's hopeless," said another. Oliver crept from rock to rock, teleporting from hiding spot to hiding spot, and finally found it. A cavern door, heavily guarded. Past them, he could glimpse flickering light in the curve of something massive. He focused on a dark corner inside, poured mana, and teleported. He landed behind a pile of stone. His eyes rose and widened. Hundreds of eggs, all shapes, colors, and sizes. Some glowed faintly, some shimmered like gems. He barely breathed. "Hey, who's that?" a guard shouted. "Ring the bell!" The alarm blared. Oliver ducked, eyes darting. A green diamond-sheened egg rested beside him. He grabbed it, pulling it into his inventory, just as soldiers turned. "He's stealing the eggs!" No time. Oliver slammed a hand to the floor and called for the nature spell he'd learned from the forest fairy. Roots exploded, upward, coiling around the guards, snatching swords from hands, binding them tight. He sprinted beneath the tangle, silent as shadow, and down the tunnel. 2 more soldiers blocked the way. With a flick of his hands, he sent twin bolts of lightning cracking down the hall. Both men were lifted off their feet and vanished into the darkness. Oliver kept running, then caught himself mid-stride. Why run when he could fly? He jumped, the wind catching him like an old friend. He tore through the tunnels, fireballs and lightning flashing from his hands, his movement perfectly balanced, thanks to his new ninja precision. He burst from the cave and stopped dead. An army waited outside. Ground troops and broom riders filled the sky. "Attack!" someone shouted. Oliver didn't hesitate. He slowed time again. He rocketed upward, weaving between frozen broom riders, shooting through the clouds and away from danger. He didn't stop until the clouds thinned and the counter reached 0. Hopefully, no one had seen where he went. He climbed higher, following his map until the familiar outline of his village came into view below, safe, bright, bustling. Rock golems rolled along the walls, mining teams worked the field, and the air shimmered with peace again. "Having golems is awesome," he said, smiling as he descended. He landed in front of the town hall and rushed inside. "Well," Gus said, "welcome back. Did you find anything interesting?" "Did I ever? I found everything," Oliver said, and told him about the eggs. "Oh dear," Gus breathed. "Is that bad?" "Bad? It's worse than bad. With that many dragons, we'd stand no chance. Even one would be disaster." "Well, about that," Oliver said. He reached into his inventory and pulled out the shimmering green egg. "Is that a dragon egg?" Gus whispered. "I never thought I'd see one." "Guess I'll try to hatch it," Oliver said. "Then we'd better go outside." They stepped into the square, and Oliver set the egg on the ground. A prompt appeared. "Hatch dragon egg?" He selected yes, but a sharp beep replied. The kind of beep that told him the command wouldn't work. "It won't hatch," he said. Likely because it needs heat," Gus said. "Dragon fire." "Maybe I can help with that." Oliver summoned fire magic and blasted a steady flame at the egg. It began to glow. He poured every drop of mana into it until it burned red hot, and the prompt appeared again. "Hatch dragon egg?" Yes. This time, the sound was clear and more like a chime. Cracks spread throughout the egg. Light burst out. A small green dragonling tumbled free. diamond-like plates glinting across its scales. "Congratulations," Martin said. "You have hatched a legendary dragon. This dragon wields both fire and nature powers, and comes equipped with diamond armor." The dragon blinked up at Oliver. "Mama?" it said softly. A voice appeared. "Would you like to adopt the dragon?" Martin asked. "Warning, this action cannot be undone." Without thinking, Oliver pressed yes. The dragon's eyes glowed and it nuzzled against his leg. Oliver crouched and scratched under its chin. "Very good," Gus said. "Now we feed it and help it grow as quickly as possible." "Okay, buddy," Oliver said. "Let's find you some food." He let the dragon perch on his arm, and the two of them followed Gus to the farm. At Oliver's command, a farmer brought out a mountain of meat. The dragon sniffed once and devoured the entire pile, burping loudly when finished. Then it began to grow. Scales expanded, wings stretched, and in seconds it was the size of a horse. "That's better," the dragon said in a deep voice. "You can talk now?" Oliver asked. "Of course. I'm now a legendary teenage dragon." "Cool. What's your name?" The dragon thought, then nodded. "Diamondback. That feels right." "Well, Diamondback," Oliver said, "want to go for a ride?" "For you, always." Diamondback crouched. Oliver climbed onto his back, gripping two spikes like handles. The dragon ran forward and spread his wings, lifting them into the air. They soared above forests, and for show, Diamondback released a green burst over the trees. The trees instantly grew taller and thicker, becoming ancient-looking in seconds. They circled once more and landed before the town hall. "Okay, buddy, I should get home. Maybe hang out by the farm?" Oliver said. "I'll make arrangements," Gus replied. "Come along, Diamondback." The dragon looked at Oliver, who nodded, and followed Gus toward the fields. After a day of spying, fighting, and hatching dragons, Oliver could hardly keep his eyes open. He went home, fell into his bed, and a prompt appeared. Sleep? He selected yes.